Welcome to Quantumly Kinky with Veda, where we talk about sex, Chinese medicine, and character development for the multidimensional you. Episode 3, Seduced by Surrender. Welcome back to Quantumly Kinky. I am your host, Sarah Veda, and I am back for another Hump Day episode. Every Wednesday, when you tune in, you'll get practical, erotic insights designed to make your life feel more turned on. Think of this as your weekly dose of inspired guidance, a kind of sexy sermon to help you align with your most expanded expression of self and embrace all of the pleasure that's already available to you. So if you're someone who desires more from your life, more aliveness, more freedom, more sensuality, more turn on, then this is the place for you, right here in this little quantumly kinky wormhole with me. So whether you're looking to bring more depth to your multidimensional spiritual practices, or simply just explore the erotic flow of your existence, this podcast will give you the tools and perspectives to do just that. In today's episode, we're going to learn the third key to living our turned on lives. So here's the deal, my loves. The secret code to living fully turned on, it is not about controlling every detail. It's not about chasing after pleasure either. It's about surrender. It's about saying a big, wet, juicy fuck yes to life, exactly as it's unfolding right now. So when we are seduced by surrender, we can access a concept called radical acceptance. This idea of radical acceptance is rooted in mindfulness practices as well as dialectical behavior therapy, or DBT. And it really has 4 main components that we're going to focus on. So radical acceptance is about acknowledging reality and recognizing what is true in the present moment, even if it's uncomfortable, even if it's painful. Radical acceptance is about letting go of resistance, releasing that urge to fight or deny reality, which often just intensifies our suffering anyway. Radical acceptance is about having a non-judgmental attitude. It's observing the situation or feelings that are coming up without needing to label them as good or bad, because everything is neutral until we decide otherwise. Radical acceptance is lastly about having that active choice. Acceptance doesn't mean we're just approving or agreeing with the situation, right? But it's an intentional choice that we're making to stop struggling against it. So radical acceptance, it's not giving up, it's showing up. It's the act of surrendering our resistance and learning to kink out on everything that happens. It's finding the beauty, finding the lesson. The erotic charge in every single moment comes alive when we are practicing radical acceptance. It's really about being in this alignment with that expanded self that makes it so we're literally turned on by life itself. Its highs, its lows, the twists, the turns, all of it. Okay, so how do we get there? How do we turn this lovely concept into a lived reality experience? First, let's rewind for a second and let's go back to what we explored in our first 2 Quantumly Kinky episodes together. So remember that kinky BDSM subcontract that you signed with your higher, most expanded self? Yeah, perfect, that one. And then remember our 2 powerful questions that we ask daily that are our gateway to surrender. How may I serve? And what is your will for me? Okay, perfect. So the contract and our 2 questions, those are the first 2 components to this frequency equation. The equation where it unlocks the turned on erotic life. And you guessed it, radical acceptance is the third. When we live by these 3 quantumly kinky constructs, we surrender our need to control and we instead align with the universal flow, the way, or the Tao. Living in alignment with the Tao is to follow the natural rhythms of life. We embrace simplicity, spontaneity, and harmony. So let's remind ourselves, these are not just esoteric concepts. They're invitations. They are the key that allows the expanded aspect of self to take the lead of our lives. And when we practice them daily, we're saying, I'm here, I'm yours, take me wherever the fuck I'm supposed to go. That's a really fun place to live from. So being a good sub to your expanded higher self and asking our 2 questions daily, it sets the stage, and a damn good one. A strong, sturdy, reliable stage is foundational for the play. But the real magic with a K, that comes in devoting self to radical acceptance. Radical acceptance is the ultimate turn on because it places your frequency in flow state, where you're no longer resisting what's happening, but instead you're open, you're available, and you're ready to receive whatever is unfolding before you. So think about it, okay? When you're in a state of acceptance, you're no longer stuck in frustration. You're no longer feeling disappointment or fear, but rather you're free. You're free to engage fully with the moment, to find the beauty, the kink, the magnetic charge in everything that's happening. This is what it means to live a turned on life. Not by forcing, not by controlling, but by surrendering, accepting, and letting your life seduce you. Remember that living in your own best erotic novel concept? Well, right now we are unraveling the how-to. So it's not just some concept that seems nice, but we're actually getting into what it means to ask, surrender, accept, and kink out on that. We're really talking about radical acceptance as a form of a spiritual kink and how it can transform every aspect of your reality into something that turns you on. Radical acceptance is the willingness to embrace life exactly as it is. No fighting, no clinging, no wishing it were different. I want you to go one step further, and I want you to think of it as the ultimate kink. You let go of resistance and you breathe into what's happening, even if it's messy, even if it's uncomfortable, or if it just downright fucking sucks. Here's the magic again. When you stop resisting and start accepting, you reclaim your power. You become the lover of life itself, finding pleasure and meaning in most places that people would simply overlook. So let's break it down Veda style. Imagine life as a scene in a kink dynamic, okay? Sometimes it's playful, sometimes it's intense, sometimes it pushes you to your edge. But when you trust the process, when you surrender to the rhythm of it, you discover a deep, erotic satisfaction in simply being present. Speaking of presence, let's take that long, slow, deep breath together, boo. Beautiful. Because remember, in our quantumly kinky world here, presence equals a long, slow, deep breath. That's it. So how about another? Acceptance does not mean you're passive. It means you're actively choosing to engage with what is rather than fighting against it. You stop saying things like, this shouldn't be happening. And you start saying things like, this is happening. How can I meet this with curiosity, love, and turn on? Got stuck in traffic? Feel the pulsation of the moment. Hear the sounds, the sensations, the stillness. Use that time to breathe deeply, to ask your two questions, to sink into the eroticism of patience. Going through a heartbreak? Let it fucking crack you open. Feel the rawness, the vulnerability. Surrender to that ache, knowing that this too is a sacred initiation into deeper love. Faced with a challenging situation, instead of resisting, ask, how is this moment serving me? What is life trying to show me here? Every experience, no matter how mundane or intense, holds the potential to turn you on, to awaken your senses, your curiosity, your connection to the divine flow of existence. This is radical acceptance in action. It's not just tolerating life, honey. It's making love to it. So let's go a little further. Let's get more specific on some practical ways to bring radical acceptance into our daily experience. But remember, let's first circle back to the first two steps that set the stage for radical acceptance. Step 1, sign that kinky subcontract with your higher self and be a good sub. Step 2, ask your 2 questions daily, every day, in the morning preferably. Start your day by asking, how may I serve? What is your will for me, expanded self? These questions, they're not just spiritual practices. Remember, they're your key to submit to the divine flow of life. They help you shift from control to curiosity, from resistance to surrender. So don't forget your 2 questions, babe. And now step 3, radical acceptance. So we're going to reframe challenges. When something feels difficult, we're going to pause. We're going to take that deep breath and we're going to ask, what's the gift here? What's the turn on? It might not be obvious, but there's always something that we can learn and grow from, or just simply experience more deeply. one of the biggest keys to radical acceptance, we are going to make acceptance erotic. So the next time that something unexpected happens, treat it like an unplanned quantum kink in your day. Because literally a quantum kink is a sudden change or twist in a quantum field, by the way. So remember that. Something unexpected happens, it's a quantum kink, babe. Maybe your plans fell apart. Can you savor the spontaneity? Maybe you're feeling really intense emotions. Can you lean into them? Can you let them wash over you and find beauty in their rawness? Choose allowance instead of resistance every day. That's how we make acceptance erotic. And then the third practice, it's really about embodied gratitude. Gratitude is such an incredible way to anchor acceptance. So at the end of our days, let's reflect on the things that we resisted, and then let's ask ourselves, how did those moments serve me? Finding gratitude for even the hardest stuff is like lacing acceptance with pleasure. It's turning us on. And here's the gem of it all. A turned on life is really just a life mostly free from resistance. So let's keep it simple. When we're no longer fighting reality, we're free to be fully present, fully alive, and fully in our turn on. Radical acceptance allows us to meet life with open arms and open legs, baby. Whether it's gifting us ecstasy or pushing us to our edge in leather with a whip and a chain, it's there. When we're in a state of acceptance, everything becomes a part of our play, a part of our growth, and a part of our divine kink. This is really the frequency code to living this life that turns us on. Being open to all of it. Not just the highs, not the lows, the messy middles, all of it. It doesn't just make life bearable, but it makes it sexy. So life is always happening for you, through you, as you, not to you. Radical acceptance is about recognizing that, surrendering to it, and finding the erotic charge in every moment. Because when you let go of resistance, you step into your flow state, and the expanded aspects of you, they meet you there, ready to co-create your wildest, most expressive life. So this week, practice kinking out on everything. Be a good sub to your higher self. Use our 2 questions daily for frequency alignment. And say yes to what is with radical acceptance. And watch, babe, as your world becomes the sexiest, most fulfilling playground imaginable. Kind of like an erotic novel, wink wink. So until next time, keep exploring, keep surrendering, and keep turning yourself and your life on. And don't forget to follow me on Quantumly Kinky on Instagram, where each day we come together to play even more with the weekly QK sexy sermon. And I'll also even share some personal juicy juice for you. So I am truly excited to connect with each and every one of you on this journey and support each other all the way through. Thanks for listening to today's episode of Quantumly Kinky with Veda. Stay turned on. Till next time.